Man, let's go ahead and get into this video here. I don't know what's going on with this world. Like I said, in a world where 80% of the people out there are saying, I don't mind other races. I don't even care if my son or daughter marries another race, including black people. So you always got to have those fucking haters out there, man.
Hater gotta hate.
You know, peace can't. You know, that's why we just can't have peace, man. You know, that's why humans can't have nothing.
Can't have a piece of shit. Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing.
That was my remix.
Nothing.
De Niro, nothing. Nothing. Did I tell you to buy anything? Nothing.
Oh, you know what? Now to give you a quick recap, as we said, last week we read a story about this Korean girl, American born, raised in America, lives here in New York. She wrote a bunch of tweets. Now, this is a songwriter. She wrote for 2 popular Korean movies. She's a K-pop star. Even there are black kids who love K-pop who knew who she was and was into her songs.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
and
that's too bad for them.
And by the way, she cites a lot of hip hop and R&B on her site and calls herself a K-pop, pop, R&B artist. R&B,
damn,
rhythm and blues,
has
its heritage in black music. With black
might as
people.
well just say black music.
Black music, yes.
Yeah.
So what does she do? She hears this thing that Floyd Mayweather, the boxer, says about Jeremy Lin. One guy who says something about Jeremy Lin, which I think is wrong. I'm not going to say it's racist, but I think it was wrong of him to say. I think it was a dumb thing to kind of say, even though I understand what he was trying to get at. But she comes on after one guy who says this. She just goes on this whole hate-filled rant, this screed about how black people should just be
eradicated,
not exist anymore.
Yeah,
and
not shine shoes, not be segregated, not exist,
gone. Yeah. Wiped out from the face of the planet if she could have a way.
Scrubbed off the earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now everybody looked at that and they said, that's crazy. This girl's going off of this. I mean, you know, Koreans, Asians, black people, white people, everybody's on this, and this woman's insane. She even tried to come in and say, yeah, I am insane. Her family said, we've had her committed because she has schizophrenia and she just had a psychotic moment. But whether you buy that or not, I personally don't, because that came out too soon, and so I kind of consider that to be kind of a
bullshit
spin. Yeah, bullshit. But everybody saw that as, man, it's an isolated incident. Well, in an unrelated incident that happened around the same time, we got this video that says racist white teen girls go on a rant about blacks, and this is the original rant here. Guess where I got this from, co-host?
I can only imagine. What was it? World Star Hip Hop?
Main source of news there. World Star Hip Hop.
Yes. Man.
That become the next TMZ, man.
They're the new CNN, if you ask me.
The lead anchor, Torrance Jenkins.
Getting the news to us fast and quick.
What's up?
News that matters.
About this shit going down in the world today.
Like Paul Mooney said, Black Good Morning America starts at noon everywhere.
If you're lucky. It starts at noon, but you know they're going to get there late. Yeah. I haven't seen this video. As I said, Leon is the one that said we should talk about this. He wanted to talk about this on a couple of Coens, but he said, I'm going to give this to you guys, and I'd like to hear you talk about it. And I actually had a couple of people send me this video, too. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and hear what they have to say. Yeah, I'm kind of. I'm
a little nervous, actually.
Right
I am.
You should be.
Let me grab hold of something.
So, this is my second time recording this. I am making a video to answer all the questions I got about my racist post. Actually, not questions. The hate mail I got. You guys, it's like you think you're hurting me, but you're not. I'm sorry. Okay, so first question.
Yeah, they're not hurting her so much that she had to change schools.
Yeah.
Question. Most of the country is poor now. Of course, there are going to be a large percentage of blacks using food stamps. A lot of people are using food stamps. I'm sure there are people from every race manipulating the system somehow. You're not even a taxpayer and you're mad. Your general argument is really close-minded. But seeing as how you're comfortable broadcasting your racism, you obviously don't care. A valid argument isn't blacks going on welfare. It's fucking racists like you, and you don't even see that.
Let me just stop right here and just say, black people are not the largest majority of welfare users.
No, we're not, because we're not even a majority of the population.
Yeah,
It doesn't even make sense.
But the largest group of welfare users, I think, are white people, and
I believe so.
Yeah, I think the percentage.
I'm sure somebody's going to correct us.
And please correct me.
But,
I'm not,
or clarify or whatever. But
yeah, but and I'm not trying to say anybody's better than the other person. I'm not. I'm just saying that's a common misconception. Yeah.
It's a common.
I don't have a problem with people using food stamps or welfare. It's people who take advantage of it. Like, what were you saying before? That people who black people. Well,
people. There's probably white people who do it too. But
first off, let me just say, we go to a large high school. There are about 2,000 students. 60% of them are black. There's a 10% of Asian, whatever, blah, 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 all those things, and then there's white people.
Did you see how she almost vomited when she said Asian? By the way.
Yeah. Now, where's Jenny Hume's tweets about that?
Yeah, exactly. And let me just clarify one other thing. What about all the fucking meth heads in the Midwest that are doing all that shit, that are her color, that are white? Also, she's not. Who is she? Who's a high school student to make any comment about welfare or anything else? If her parents were to cut her ass off tomorrow, her ass would be on welfare.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, from the get-go, when you listen to this, you could tell this is somebody who is nowhere nearly as educated as they should be when they're talking about these subjects right now.
She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
This is coming from a typical dumbass high school kid that thinks they fucking have all the answers and know everything.
That's the thing about it. It's a kid.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, as kids, we all say stupid things. Again, we just have a bigger outlet to do it with.
There's times when some people just don't have a fucking a filter on their mouth.
This is beyond stupid, though.
Yeah.
This. I don't.
No, yeah, it is.
Never mind. Anyway, so out of the 60% that are black, 90% of the kids that graduate are white. 90% of them. Not a lot of black kids graduate from my school.
What?
They don't make a living for themselves. They just drop out of high school. I'm gonna have kids. I'm gonna get a welfare check.
Get my GED.
I'll get my GED. I'm gonna go work at McDonald's, and if I keep having my babies, Shaniqua, Liko, and Jaqueque, I'll keep getting my welfare check for having my babies. That is how. Okay, maybe up north or wherever the hell you people are from, maybe that's not how the black people are. But here, that is where that is how the majority of them are.
They literally get their welfare check. They get whatever food stamp. That's how they get their welfare check, and they go and they buy these expensive name brand clothes, and then they don't have enough money to pay for rent. Or
let me ask you something, Billy. Let me ask you something. What do you feel about this? Because I'll be the first to tell you. I'm not the kind of person to sit up here and point fingers at other people without pointing the finger at myself. Black ignorance is rampant. We got. I mean, I've seen it. What she's saying is, I have seen it myself. I've seen people who can't afford food, and they do have food stamps, but they can somehow afford a pair of Jordans for their baby.
Okay.
Now, but I know that I know that she's probably taking this to another level where it's generalized.
That's not even what I was going to say.
What are you going to say?
What I want to say is she clearly is not friends with any of these black people. So how the fuck does she know if they're on welfare or not? How the fuck does she know where they're working? How the fuck does she know what they do with their money?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? If there were a black girl sitting next to her right now, I might buy this argument. But she's sitting there going, that Shaniqua will drop out of school and go do this. How does she know? You're not friends with her? How do you know if her family's on welfare?
Yeah.
I don't know anybody on welfare that goes around bragging about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Especially high school kids.
I guess I just get the feeling that she's generalizing because that's just a stereotype that she's familiar with, and she's just elaborate on it. Because I will tell you that what she's upset about, I'm upset about with black people.
True.
I see a lot of teenage pregnancy in the black community, and the crazy thing about it is in the Latino community, where supposedly Catholicism is the dominant religion. And I'm not talking about amongst all Latinos. I'm just saying I've seen communities where they say Catholicism, good Catholic people, and teenage pregnancy is rampant. And it's like, okay, well, apparently this religion is really not working for you. You don't want to talk about sex because You think it's a sin to talk about sex? You don't want to teach your kids about contraception because the Catholic Church says you shouldn't be using contraception. But
you're not supposed to have sex before you get married.
You're not supposed to have sex before you get married. But you know what? A lot of your fucking kids are doing it. A lot of black teenagers are doing it.
Because kids like fucking. I mean, they don't think about consequences.
Well, we just saw Project X, so we know it.
Yeah.
You know, all kids like fucking. Yeah. I tell you what the thing is though, and this is my problem here, and this is why I want to educate people a lot. I have to tell people this. A lot of your white kids who come up, the majority of them come up in a more stable environment where they can buy contraception, whether their parents tell them about it or not. You know, they can go out. They probably have a lot more insight than those kids who don't know anything about contraception or safe sex, and then they go out and they get pregnant because they just don't know.
A lot of the times these kids are just getting. I mean,
they're not from a place of privilege, you know, and they can't afford. And you know what? And I can guarantee you, rich people, whether they be black, white, or anything in between, whether they believe in pro-life or not, I can tell you right now, the majority of them, even if they're pro-life, if their kids get pregnant, they will go out and get an abortion. They can afford
especially
it.
If Trey Bonte did it.
Yeah.
Like I told you.
Yeah.
But the thing is, kids are always going to fucking have sex. You get drunk, you get crazy. We've all done it. We've all almost had our accidents and shit like that. But some of these families, some of these kids will never tell their parents because they're too afraid of what's going to happen, the consequences. So when it's time to let them know, it's too late to have the abortion. So I mean, there's all kinds of shit that can for the reasons why those statistics are there. There's a billion reasons why that shit happens.
I'm just saying that there's an attack against I'm gonna go off on a political rant here. There's an attack against contraception right now, and a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, that they're complaining about, could be actually taken care of if we weren't so scared to teach our kids about sex.
Well, yeah,
and we weren't so scared to provide easier means of contraception and attacking places that provide it.
But I tell you what, as far as the food stamp things, I always remember that MTV episode where they were following around Old Dirty Bastard, where he was in a limousine with all his kids, and they went to go pick up his welfare check. Where I was like, it's kind of funny when you look at it, but I'm like, I don't know if that's really an image
it's
you really
fucking
want.
sad, man. I laugh at it, but it's fucking sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. No, watching that dude go and get it. I mean, that's why these people think that's why these kids think like that.
Kids seeing that shit, they start to generalize that. Well, that's just.
I guess what I'm saying
that's black people for you.
I think that these kids are overgeneralizing and they don't know. They just going off.
They don't know shit.
But to a certain degree, and people correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, what can we do? Because I do see a lot of it to where it's kind of epidemic in certain places, especially in the South, in your poor states. There's a big epidemic of black teen moms, man. I mean, I don't know, Billy. Am I going off on the wrong tangent here? Or?
Well, no. I don't think you're going off on the wrong tangent per se. Yes, there's a lot of that in our community that I don't like. I mean, I was fortunate enough to grow up in a nice neighborhood and all that, but I have seen, the everything you talked about, like people buying shit they shouldn't be buying, they don't have the money to do it, the pregnancy. But I'll flip it for you. And like I said, you're not wrong on that. I've seen that, but I'll flip it for you. I went to Rich White High School, and 2 girls got pregnant in the time that I was in school, and neither one of them were black or Hispanic. Okay, yeah. They're both white, and that's what I'm saying. Those are the one of them stayed in, one of them dropped out. I remember this to this day. And we did have some black kids at our school, and we actually had black kids that we busted in from the east side because we had weird districts back then. Yeah. And they weren't pregnant. They didn't drop out.
See, I guess that was going to be my counter argument after hearing what you said, because for all the complaining that they do about black people having teen babies and welfare and ignorance, I think that's the common, at least for people like these girls, that's the common image that they see. They will not ever bother to consider the fact that there's a larger majority of black people, Asians, Latinos, that don't fit the stereotypes that they think. I mean, nobody ever acknowledges, even with a black president now, hardly anybody wants to acknowledge the affluent black people.
No, they don't want to see it.
The prosperous
a movie star or something.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't ever get acknowledged. That's the common image is like you're lazy, you're shuffling, and you're welfare, and that's still the common image. And it's like that.
Well, it's what you're forced to see by the media that's out there, because the majority of these kids that are taking this in, it's from shit they like see on TV. They can see like a commercial in 2020. More black girls getting pregnant, no father. What to do. And you see that kind of shit constantly. I mean, it's going to drill in their head that is an ongoing thing, and that's just how things are.
And maybe they're going to, like I said, there's certain parts of the country, like especially in the South, where you have a large majority of poor black people because, and I know people don't want to admit this, and I'm sorry that's the way it is, but it's funny how inheritance will keep things going. And that's what I was saying. A lot of you, especially in the South, a lot of you white people have inherited money, a nice lifestyle, while a lot of the black people in the South still inherit poverty. Mm-hmm. And that goes all the way back to Jim Crow.
And a way of life and a way of thinking. Mm-hmm. And
when you're in that kind of environment, I mean, they still come up in environments where they don't have stable homes, they don't have two-parent homes. And, of course, without any real guidance, that's going to be the result of things like teen pregnancy. Right. And people having to depend on federal assistance and things of that nature. It's more than just you're black, you're this race, that race, and so you are conditioned to want this.
Yeah, no, it always runs way deeper than just what's on the surface.
I mean, anything, because they do that, and it's stupid. Like, why I don't understand is how their priorities. They don't have them right, and that's what's annoying about it.
Priorities, you got it. Sorry.
I don't care if you're black. I could care less about the color of your skin as long as you're not like stupid.
Real black.
Okay. My Spanish class is there's like 4 white kids in there, and that's a really big class. There's like 35 of us, and there's supposed to be like 20 kids in a class. Yeah. There's 35 of us, and Miss Gill is already a private teacher, but whatever. Anyway.
Damn, she's going off on everybody. Yeah. Shit, no wonder she had to leave. She's talking about the teachers and everybody. They were all waiting for her with sticks and shit. Bitch, don't come in here.
I know.
He's just like, I got something for your ass too, señorita.
No.
Hola.
You thought Frankenstein was going to that school.
The way the villagers were showing up.
Yeah. She just shooting herself in the foot, and then she's like, how about another bullet? Boom, I'll talk shit about my teacher too. Stupid bitch.
We are having a discussion about common American meals because we're talking about Spanish culture and all this crap. I don't know.
Exactly. I don't know. That's perfect.
Miss Gill was like, what about steak? They're all like, we can't afford steak. And I'm like, but you can afford your expensive Hollister clothes all the time, your iPhones, and all this stuff, and you can't afford a steak.
Okay, pause it, please.
Maybe she's on a budget.
First off, that's... Okay, this is a common fucking thing that drives me up the fucking wall. You're in high school. You ain't paying for shit. Maybe those kids are.
Yeah.
Maybe those kids' parents are so fucking poor that they have to go out and get a job to get money to do things they want. And those kids are... First off, don't tell me any ghetto black kid shops the Hollister. That's number one. Number two, Hollister is not expensive. Kiss my ass. And maybe you're not as rich as you think you are, little girl. If you think Hollister is expensive, okay, fuck that. And you're talking about no class. Like there's no class right there. Hollister.
Yeah.
All right, that's number two. Number three. Those kids, those poor kids, if they have jobs, have every right to spend it on whatever the fuck they want to if they're working for their money. If they choose to spend it on Hollister instead of steak, then that's what they're going to. Then they're entitled to do that.
Yeah, and well, it's like why are you? Well, the major thing is what I would say. Looking at something like this, I'm always in the camp. It's like, why do you care what the fuck somebody else is doing? It has nothing to do with you, your lifestyle, how you're living. Why do you give so much of a fuck? Like, did something happen to you personally that brings out all this rage? Which I guarantee you, something probably did. Somebody probably talked some shit to her. Something happened.
There's a black girl taking her lunch money every day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Something happened to where
she wants Jerome deep down.
You feel like you have to go on a rant like this. I
bet you she wants Jerome deep down. I'll tell you something else. Who does this remind you of? Then it kind of remind you of, in a different roundabout way, remind you of Vegetarian Girl from the movie shoot.
Oh yeah,
she's worried about what the fuck I'm doing. Ain't got nothing to do with her.
Mm-hmm. I love animals. That's why I don't eat meat, because I don't want to see them killed. I don't want to have anything to do with their suffering. But I'm gonna wear this nice leather jacket because it looks good.
I mean, if she were here, I'd eat that fucking squirrel right out there outside. I would. I'd do it right in front of her.
That squirrel looking at you like, no, what the fuck I do?
Hey,
nothing, but I gotta make a point, Mr. Squirrel.
just trying to get a nut.
I'm just chill square trying to get a nut, baby. Leave me alone.
Look, I don't even want to. Man, this.
No, it goes on. It goes on forever.
It goes on for like 13, and she ain't even going off as hard as I thought she was. And listen, I see what she's trying to say. She's just doing it in the wrong way, and I think she's got, her shit is just twisted, man. She's got a warped sense of what's really happening, and
she does, and you always have to remember that this is coming from somebody who's just not very well educated in what they're fucking talking about. It's just word vomit right now, and there's something obviously and it's just like everyone with a brain can look at this and realize that she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about, which is a good thing. I think everyone at that school realized, like, look, she's speaking for herself. Her and her friend are fucking nuts, obviously.
Yeah.
But we don't see the world like that. We don't see these people like that. So they'll just leave it at that.
But
it sucks that we're in an age where people can put this kind of stupid shit on YouTube, so it's going to catch a lot of attention because it should, just to remind people, yes, there are still people out there that think in these stupid ways, and there should be consequences about that.
Well, people put themselves out there, and that's a cool thing, because now people get to see for the stupidity it is. I'm just happy, like I said, I'm just happy to see, and Billy, I know you're especially happy, like I said, that people are very tolerant about interracial dating and marriage. And I'm not saying that because I'm out, I want my free pass to get a white woman. I'm saying, like, I'll take it.
I was like, you don't
want your pass? Give it to me. I now have two.
And you eat yours?
Hey man, you gonna use that? If not, I'll
Oh, man. You can take. I'm gonna go into the Indian buffet over here, but
you go right ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that it just seems like more people are being tolerant with each other, and of course, there's going to be, and I'm not surprised about this, with more people mixing together and being more tolerant of each other, you're gonna have people that are just gonna come crashing head into a culture or a person that they never had to before. And that's just going to make them react in weird, crazy fucking ways, man. And that's what we're seeing today.
Yeah.
We're just seeing people just having a weird reaction to that.
Stupid is as stupid does.
And what somebody asked me, I didn't even pull up the email. Somebody asked me, it was an Asian guy too, either Asian kid or adult. I couldn't tell by the email. But they said, I am an Asian guy, and I certainly don't approve of what this Jenny Hume girl said. But I had somebody who says they didn't approve. But they did ask the question, what if there was just one race? What if you did, not only what if you remove black people from the equation, but what if there was just one race of people, all Asian, all white, all black? And what would the world truly be better? And he asked me what I thought about that. And I said, that's what's so strange about that kind of comment of get rid of this race and everything will be better. For that girl alone, and I thought about this, that girl Jenny Hume, who is Korean, has she not seen the divide between North and South Korea? Mm-hmm. People that look the same.
Yeah, I would have easily said, "Fuck no." I mean, look at what's going on there. Look what's going on around Africa. It's like,
has she not seen the way other people look at her?
I know.
Yeah, her people, just other racist cultures, like other racist white people look at her.
Yeah,
it's like racist exactly white people don't, and I'm not just saying that, I'm not talking about white people, I'm just being racist white people don't like anybody. Yeah. The racist people in general don't like anybody but their own kind.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who are in their own race that don't like their own race because of the stature of their money. There's all there's all kinds of that shit out there.
People will find ways to divide themselves because easily, unfortunately human nature is very tribalistic. We like teams, and we like to have our tribes, our teams, our clear divide of this versus that. Mm-hmm. If you were to take everybody out the world and we just left white people, you will find some sort of religion to divide people by. You would divide people because the blue eyes versus the brown eyes. The blonde haired versus the brown haired. Mm-hmm. I mean, people will find, if there was nothing but blue eyed, blonde haired people on this planet, they would find a belief system that would separate them to kill each other.
Freckles versus non-freckles.
Go watch Lord of the Flies. Look at how that turned out. Watch that
exactly.
movie. Yeah,
the one girl looks kind of like Piggy. But what happened to these girls anyway?
Young. That's stupid.
No, but I'm saying, what happened to them in the story? Didn't they end up leaving school? Or something?
They had to leave.
What does it say there? It says they got kicked out or something?
She ended up writing an apology, and she said, This came this past Monday. I'm one of the girls who were in the racist video that got posted. I'm writing this so that I can tell people how truly sorry I am. I could never in a million years have pictured this happening with me involved. I wasn't raised to hate people for their race, and I still don't. I made a horrible decision in being part of this video. I wonder if she was the girl.
It took you that long to have
that
a
must
rude
be in the background.
Yeah, it took you that long. Yeah. It took a bunch of people saying that they're gonna fucking kill you. Yeah, to really think that and put it down.
Sometimes that's what people need. It's all.
Did you see the one thing that said that she was living at a relative's house while her mom was at work?
Yeah.
Go give me the switch.
The funny thing is that the girl in this video, somebody made a comment about how it's like, oh, you're a dumb Mexican bitch. You don't know what the fuck you're stupid. You're stupid and poor. And she goes on to say that she's actually Cuban and that she had her family.
This girl here in this video?
Yeah, the girl on the left.
The girl with the glasses?
No. The girl to the left. She's Cuban. And she was saying in the video that I think her relatives. One of them was like a mayor of Cuba for a while, and that apparently she was boasting that people know us, like we're well known, we come from money, so we're not stupid. But I'm just like, wow, you putting out all that information. I'm curious, like if people are gonna look that up and go, how's that guy who's out there? How's he gonna look knowing that one of my relatives came out and doing some stupid shit on YouTube?
You were banned from ever coming to Cuba.
Yeah, and it's making national news.
I tell you, if she let's just say that she comes from a background of some relative wealth. Mm-hmm. Let's pull it out of the race thing here. One of the things that I read recently is that wealthy people have a tendency to be the most. They're the ones who are likely to cheat. They're the ones who are likely not to have any real, I guess, sympathy towards other people who they consider lower as in class. I mean, I could attribute for a lot of race among racism and classism among your wealthy. I mean, we look at people right now who are out there. They said that like rich people would be the one. Wealthy people, they do things because they become desensitized to how people feel because they're no longer hang around people who need any kind of assistance or have to exist in any kind of poverty. They're not around.
Or never did.
So they don't really sympathize with that just because they don't associate with it. They say they'll be the ones to most likely take candy from a baby, not really even think about it.
Right. Well, that's the problem with, and it's not a political discussion, but I'm just making a point here. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, that's a problem with Mitt Romney. Even I'm talking about within his own political party, that he keeps ostracizing and alienating people, the common man, because he can't relate. And there's a lot of rich people that can relate, but he's from the very elitist kind of rich people. I mean, there are people who are just as rich as Mitt Romney, even richer, that know how to relate to people that are a lower class. But he just grew up in an environment where he was never around it at all. So that's why he keeps making comments like,
the Cadillacs,
and the like NASCAR. Well, I don't watch as much as some ardent fans do, but I got a couple friends that own NASCAR teams. I don't want to hear that. I mean,
he's talking to.
He can't help himself.
He's talking to. He's in a speech where he's trying to like appeal to the working class.
He can't do it.
And he goes out and mentions how his wife
drives a couple of Cadillacs. He says it, yeah.
And people are like, well, you don't fucking get it, man.
Yeah.
You got Santorum, who's out there saying Obama wants to make it easier for people to go to college. What a snob. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Really?
Some niggas, people are meant to go to college.
Like, seriously, man? I mean, y'all don't have a fucking clue.